So just a recap of what we did in class tonight, and then of course I'm gonna add a little bit about the particles here. So right now everything is as you saw, right? I'm gonna preview this project. We have this nice begin button. We talked about layers, right? So you can go behind or in front of that tree. We made this flower a solid so we can't get through it. And to get through it, we have to shoot at it and then we can get on our way. And then here what we did is where it really started beginning to understand how we have to organize our events. We have mush coming along, and then we have three instances here. Do you remember on this particular one? And that was level 2. That we had the vehicle, and then we had the empty vehicle, the vehicle with mush in it, and then we had mush. So we know that our events was that we wanted mush racer. Remember, we had to make sure we named that correctly. We wanted mush, we wanted that car, the empty car, to go away. We wanted the car with mush in it to be visible, and then we wanted mush to go away. So those are the things you have to remember, just organizing the instances on the stage so it goes away. And then, of course, we did the door, right? So when the actual vehicle started moving away, we went through that invisible door, and off we went. So that's really nice there. And then, of course, we went and did level 3. And level 3 was nothing more than making this track where everything was a solid, right? And then we added the car. So if I'm going to go to behavior, we added not only the car, but then the scroll to feature. And I should mind you that that scroll to feature could be used even if you're doing a platform and you wanted this whole thing. So let's get a good view here. This whole thing was platforms where you're jumping, ducking, diving, and going all the way through. You can use that scroll to for that as well. So this evening's class was a lot about just kind of controlling the instances, using a full layout versus just a small window like we did, and then of course navigating to each. What I do want to show you is if I go back to level 1 here, you know, the gaming it's all about the effects, and I know that we're not doing the greatest of effects just yet, and we're building on this, but for those of you that want to move forward and get ahead on your project, I just want to add one more little detail, and that is going to be, I guess, what we're calling an explosion, right? So if we're shooting right now, it doesn't look great, but we get the point. So mush is going to go ahead, fire away, and then boom, the flower goes away, and so does the bomb. What I want to do is add what's called a particle effect, and my hope is that you'll use that particle effect then on something else, on anything that you're doing, if not in a shooting sense, but maybe in some sort of character destroying. So I'm going to go to our object level. And on this object level, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new object, and I'm going to call it particle. See the particle here? And this particle, all I'm going to do is double click on it. And I want my bomb to explode, so I'm going to go ahead and go to black here and just make a little circle like that. And it doesn't have to match or anything along those lines because it is a sprite. And I'll just go ahead and close that out. And you know, I don't like that, so let's do that again. Did I make a particle over here that I have to delete? Up, like that. Yeah, so I'm going to delete that. So make it a little bit more appropriate. I seem to have got a little lazy there. So go ahead and make your particle. And I'm going to go ahead and make it 50 by 50. And then I'm just going to fill this up again. It's just a circle. And there we go. It should not be this difficult. There, I did it. So now I'm going to close that out. And then when you close that out, you see what happens here is it's different, right? It's not like all the other sprites. It has kind of this red thing going on. And that red thing is the behaviors almost, right? And the only thing that we need here when we're clicking on the particles, I'm going to call it particles. I have no problem keeping it particles for right now. And what I want to do is I want to come down. I don't really need to add a behavior to it, right? What I want to add to it is this rate. So I want it to kind of like kaboom. And I wanted to do it in all angles. So right now you can see the spray cone. This right here is 60 degrees. maybe it is, maybe it's not, but they're presuming that that between here is 60 degrees. So if I go to preview this, you can see that particle effect. See how it's just kind of like shooting out like that, and it's shooting out continuously? What I want to do is make that 360, because for me that makes sense for what I'm using it for. If you wanted to do it in like that, maybe it's going to be like a thruster on the vehicle, on your car, you could do the continuous, but I don't. I want it to be like a bomb, right? So I'm going to go ahead and preview that now. So see how it's like all 360-degree angles now? And then I don't want it to be a continuous because I want it's a bomb exploding. So I'm going to keep it at one shot. Now when I preview this, you can see that it just, boom, explodes. Okay? And I really like that. There's other things you can mess with here. There's the speed, so I can make it go faster, slower. Let's just add some things here. It really isn't too great. There's the lifetime, so gravity is 22. Just little things, so not a big deal. But now I have an instance of that particle here. And just like I had to do when I was going to spawn an image, I just want it here, an instance of it, even in a layout that's not being used. So now what I can do is go back to my, is it level 2? No, level 1. And I want to go ahead and add that particle effect, or whatever you want to call it, to the bomb exploding, but only when it collides with the flower. So I'm going to go to my level 1 event sheets, and I'm going to look for my bomb. And then here's my bomb. And then you can see it says on collision with flower, I want the flower to destroy, and I want the bomb to destroy. But I also want to add that particle. And it's going to seem interesting, but what I want to do is pick the particle. Oh, that's a lie, I'm sorry. So I want my bomb, and so I have my bomb on collision with flower. What I want it to do is, well, I want to pick my bomb, and I want to say spawn again. So spawn another object. And the object I want to spawn is my particle. And then I'm going to hit done, and then you'll see there quickly that the bomb, the moment that it collides with the flower, the bomb is going to destroy, right? We have it set to destroy, but at the same time it's going to spawn the particle that we made. So it's going to have that explode to it. So as you can see here, I'm going to shoot that, and whoa! I don't know why I did that. And then I'm going to go ahead and shoot the flower, and then the moment that it collides, you see that? It just kind of explodes like that. So that's just an extra thing that you can do to your project. I wanted to add that for those of you moving ahead. Other things that you could possibly notice, maybe if you see that I did see these clouds up here that I've done, if you want to add a little bit more movement like that, that's nothing more than just a behavior. So if you go to my level 1 and you look at my behaviors, it's called sign. And if you click on that, see here, if you just go and click on any one of these, it will tell you what the object and what the thing is going to do. And then sign is just a position, size, angle, or other prop with oscillating. So oscillating is, of course, what you see, the back and forth motion. And that's just a really quick and simple thing of adding that sign. And then, of course, over here in your behaviors, you can do horizontal, vertical, forwards, back. You can do just about anything here with that. So just a little quick something on the recap of what we did, right? So all of our sprites and all our sheets, and then, of course, doing that little particle effect. All right, thank you much.